One thing I want to do a deep dive on in Square One Bible Study for Christian Foundations is the last page of every module. So I'll walk through this real quick because I really think this is one of the biggest highlights for Square One Bible Study for Christian Foundations. So starting with the biblical references, as you guys can see, there are tons of biblical references in every single module throughout the entire Square One. When people ask how long it take to write this book, and it was well over 2 years to write this book, this is one of the reasons why it's researching and confirming every single one of these biblical references. Now, as you can see, a topic such as God's goodness contains more than just 2 or 3 passages. There are hundreds of passages in the Bible related to God's goodness. However, the focus is on those main passages that clearly discuss and highlight the point that is being made here in the module. So you won't find a dissertation on God's goodness here in the end of each module in Square One, but what you will find are those key biblical passages that really, again, kind of just start you from Square One on finding passages that talk about whatever that's here, God's goodness, God's holiness, and so forth. So everything that you see in the modules of Square One that's not biblical content has a biblical reference here in the back of each module on the 3rd page. Also, in that really small line right there, it's small, but it's important. It is additional study and additional reading that you can do on that particular. The idea is that for 5 days, you do each module a day. And for that 6th day, it's a day for further study, additional reading. So in that further study, additional reading day, that's when you can research a lot of these passages. And then you can also read, it's usually an extended passage. So you can read that extended passages during that additional day for further study. And then the last part of the end of each module for Square One are the 4 discussion questions. These 4 discussion questions are not, as you can see, they're not just fill in the blank questions. They're not questions that you can just go back. I remember back being in grade, in school, you could find the exact sentence earlier in the book and then just find that key word that's missing. It's not like that at all. These are challenging questions that not only confirms that you read the material, but then you can also understand the implications of what you just read, that you understand the practical needs that arise from understanding this information. So for the most part, there are no right or wrong answers here. The questions are geared towards you being in a small group, everybody bringing the challenging questions that allow you to really think deeply and biblically about the material that you just read. So the discussion questions and the biblical references is one of the main things that makes Square One Bible Study for Christian Foundations the discipleship tool of choice for churches, Christian schools, and ministry organizations. And I look forward to connecting with you prior to and during and after the release of Square One Bible Study for Christian Foundations in January 2023.